All right, guys. How's it going? This is 10, no, 5.10, and today we're going to be going over the government policies in the Civil War. Okay, little shorter slides, about 13, and I think one video as well. There's a lot of videos in this unit, but yeah, let's go ahead and let's get into it. And yeah, we have an essential question, as always, and it's asking how did Lincoln's point of view impact government policies during the American Civil War from the years 1861 to 1865? And so, yeah, let's get into it. Let's keep it short. And yeah, let's go. Nothing to write down here, but I'm pretty sure you guys are quite familiar with this slide. But it's the United States presidents. Okay, so you guys now see the 16th president is Abraham Lincoln, the guy in the $5 bill. And so, yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and move on. There's something to write down here. It'll be on our notes already. So let's continue. All right, guys. Well, I just realized that my AirPods had connected somewhere else. So I didn't get any of this video. So I have to restart this whole thing right here on slide 4. But I'm going to turn this frustration to motivation to get this done quicker. I'm sorry. It's late now. It's like 10:20. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. So Lincoln hesitates, right? So at the start of the Civil War, Lincoln was cautious about addressing slavery directly, right? For several reasons. I'm gonna explain his hesitation. So first, he feared that annihilating the border states, which was crucial to the Union. He was fearing that, you know. And additionally, the Constitution still protected slavery and many of the Northerns that held racial prejudice, right? And so finally, Lincoln was also concerned about taking premature action that could lead to backlash in future elections. So these are just some of the things that he was worried about. I mean, he didn't want to lose support from the border states. And yeah, he was just fearing for premature actions for future elections. I mean, at this time, he didn't think he was going to be assassinated. I mean, come on. He wanted to be reelected. I mean, anywho. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and continue, guys. Okay, so now we're talking about the government policies in Civil War. Okay, so Lincoln's presidency basically tests the limits of power and executive set by the precedent of the expansion of presidential power and authority during times of war. Okay, so during this time, wartime presidents could use Lincoln's and the Civil War as justification for overstepping Congress and the Supreme Court until after the Vietnam War ends in 1970s, which we'll go over much later in history as we're talking about 1860s. Okay, so we're kind of a ways from the Vietnam War, but just know that they were using Lincoln and the Civil War as justification during this time. Okay, so Lincoln's point of view, right, was the viewpoint of the purpose of the Civil War involved the course of the war, right? So he basically, he just used the viewpoint of the purpose of the Civil War. Like I said, it's not really elaborating on that. So the start of the war, right? So Lincoln's primary goal in going to war was to save the Union. Okay, slavery or not. But however, issuing the proclamation, right, or whatever. It's late. I'm trying to get this over with, guys. So 1862, he created a turning point of the meaning of war, right? So it shifted from being in a war about preservation of the Union to a war about unjustness of the system of slavery, okay, and freeing the enslaved, okay? So when you guys talk about Lincoln's assassination in 1865, it created a power vacuum that would have huge consequences of the process readmitting the southern states into the Union, okay? So it pretty much just explains everything right here, from 1861 to basically April of 1865, where he's assassinated. So we talked about the Gettysburg Address, and now we're just kind of like going over everything with Abraham Lincoln. It's kind of weird. You guys can also see where he's like shot, and we'll be talking about a little bit of the Homestead Act right now, but it's kind of all over the place. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the Confiscation Acts. Okay, so during the early war, the enslaved individuals began to cross into the Union lines, right? And Union leaders at this time were refusing to send them back. And Congress responded with these Confiscation Acts that we're going to be talking about. So these laws allowed the Union Army to seize property and use the support of the rebellion including the enslaved people, right? So importantly, they also freed those enslaved by anyone rebelling against the U.S., okay, leading to many escaping Union camps as contrabands, okay? So yeah, that pretty much just like fastly just explains this slide. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue from here. And like I said, we're going to be talking about the Homestead Act, the Morrill Land Grant Act, and the Pacific Railroad Act. So, Republican politics stimulated economic growth in the North and the West, right? So, while the Civil War destroyed the Southern economy during this time, it was a catalyst that transformed America into a modern industrial powerhouse. Okay, so the South will miss out on these pro-business actions that would have helped diversify the economy and prevent being left behind as the U.S. involved into the industrial grants. So we will review most of these in Unit 6, which will be Unit 6. I believe it's going to be after we come back from Christmas break. So we're going to finish it off this week, Unit 5. And we're going to have Thanksgiving break, thank God, right? And then we're going to come back the first week of December and finish up Unit 5 and review for the exam, take the exam, and then pretty much all December is going to be testing for end of semester exams. So keep that in mind. And yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, and this slide is basically talking about the writ habeas corpus, right? So if you guys can read the quote in class, I'm just going to go ahead and explain like the kind of like the back story behind it. So the writ habeas corpus requires a person under arrest to be brought before a judge or into court. So especially secure the person's release unless lawful grounds are shown for their detention. So suspension of the habeas corpus meant that the people could be arrested without being informed of the charge brought against them. So 13,000 people were arrested under the suspicion of helping the enemy. Democrats in Congress accused Lincoln of tyranny. And also, we also see the Constitution only allows habeas corpus to be suspended by Congress and not the president. So Lincoln, however, overstepped his power after the war, the Supreme Court ruled that the government had improperly subjected civilians to the military trials. Alrighty, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue. It's already like 7 minutes. Oh God. So let's go ahead and continue. The Emancipation Proclamation. So this is a video we're gonna be going over in class, and I want to make it real. I just want to say real quick, I need you guys to do these in class, please. I need you guys to complete these on your notes. I will be checking binders on Friday. If I'm not complete, I'm not going to give you credit. I'm going to take off credit. I show these videos twice, so you should be able to get them down or talk to a neighbor about these questions. But I'm just not going to tolerate cheating. I've already seen cheating happen this week. I'm not going to take it, all right? So keep that in mind. Have them complete. Let's go ahead and continue. Election of 1864, you see Abraham Lincoln and you see McClellan. Okay, so yeah, Lincoln won handily the electoral vote. As you guys can see, there's like all red. So he won. He won the election with his Vice President Andrew Johnson. Okay, so keep that in mind for the election of 1864. Great. And the next one we'll be talking about is the Conscription Act. So basically, in by 1864, right, the Union faced manpower shortages, right? So leading to the Conscription Acts. This made men that were aged 20 to 35, 45, sorry, eligible for military service, but they could avoid paying a $300 fee, basically, right? So, but this policy angered poor workers, especially those who feared job competitions with the freed African Americans at this time. So these tensions erupted the inner New York City draft riots targeting black residents and illustrating the deep divisions within the North. So yeah, no, this was pretty big. This was a pretty big. I mean, like I said, the poor workers did not have enough money to pay the $300, right? So if you couldn't pay the $300 to get out, then you were going to war. And at this time, there's a lot of job competition. Like I said, freed slaves could work, and so it's like it didn't really work out for a lot of the people. Then they didn't want to go to war. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and continue. And now we're coming off the last one of the last slides, right? With the malice towards none. with Charity for All. So Lincoln's leadership was guided by the vision of unity at this time, right? So the second inaugural address, he famously said the quote that I just mentioned, right? And this basically his approach to the post-war Reconstruction, right? Fostering forgiveness and rebuilding the nation. As we reflect on his presidency, we also see the beliefs shape the policies that defined the Civil War era, right? It was very important, super important history, and it caused a lot of tensions. And we even talked about a lot of tensions that led to the Civil War and the outcomes. And this is all very important to American history because it shapes our nation today. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. It's about almost 11 minutes. Let's end strong. And then we're going to be ending with the essential question, basically the same question we got earlier. And this will be a good time to reflect about the lesson and we'll see what you learned. Tomorrow I'm going to try to keep the assignment very minimum. As I guys see, you guys haven't been doing the discussions on Teams, so I want to give you guys some time to do that and catch up with anything else you need to catch on for the class. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for a great Wednesday. I know work on a Wednesday is pretty difficult and keeping up with the schedule. But yeah, today was a long lecture, not this one in particular, but the last one. And so I'll probably make sure we catch up. I'm trying to make a fun activity for Friday as we're going to be shipping off for 1 week and not seeing each other. But yeah, thank you guys for following along and thank you guys for trying and bringing your A game every day. I really highly appreciate it. All right. So with that being said, it is 10:30. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video and get ready for tomorrow. And we're almost done with the week. All right. Unit 5 also too. I think we're almost done with Unit 5, but I'll make sure to take a couple of days. I know it's been overwhelming and a lot of information, so I'll go make sure we catch up and we're ready for the Unit 5 exam. All right. So thank you guys. It's 12 minutes, and I hope you guys have a good day on Thursday, tomorrow, and I hope I have one too. And like I said, let's end the week strong. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.